Some stories are never finished, they're just filed away. Welcome to Chronicles of the Obscure. Dealey Plaza, Dallas, November 22, 1963. The clock ticks past noon, striking 12:30 p.m. The Texas sun is bright, the crowds are cheering. It's a day of celebration. A president visiting his people. Then, the sound, sharp crack, like a backfire. A brief pause, then another, and another. 3 shots that echo between the buildings, that slice through the air and through history itself. A president slumps in his limousine. A nation freezes. In the moments that follow, chaos erupts. People are screaming, ducking for cover, running in every direction, their faces etched with confusion and horror. Police officers draw their weapons, scrambling up the grassy knoll. The presidential motorcade, once a symbol of stately progress, now accelerates frantically, a blur of polished steel and panic, speeding toward Parkland Hospital. But amidst this tidal wave of pandemonium, one figure remains remarkably unnervingly still. She stands on the grass between Main Street and Elm Street. She wears a tan or light brown overcoat and a headscarf tied under her chin in the style of an Eastern European grandmother, a babushka. This is how she will be named. She holds a movie camera to her eye, not flinching, not running. As the world around her dissolves into sheer terror, she calmly pans her camera, tracking the presidential limousine as it disappears under the triple underpass. She is the Babushka Lady. She filmed the assassination of John F. Kennedy, arguably capturing the event from a unique and crucial vantage point. And then, she simply vanished. Her film has never been found. Her identity remains one of the greatest, most haunting unresolved puzzles of the 20th century. Let us step into the evidence locker and piece together what little we know about this phantom of history. Our first exhibits are the photographs. The Babushka Lady wasn't just a fleeting glimpse. She was captured, frozen in time, by the cameras of others who were documenting that fateful day. She appears in at least 4 known photos and films. The most famous images are from Mary Moorman and Phil Willis. Moorman's Polaroid, snapped a fraction of a second after the fatal headshot, shows her standing on the grass just north of Elm Street, directly across from the Zapruder film's location. In the background, there she is, a solid, focused figure amidst the blur of panic. The Willis photograph, taken moments earlier, shows her in the same spot, camera raised to her face. In film footage from Mark Bell and Patsy Paschal, she's visible again, a persistent, silent observer. From these images, a basic description emerges. A white female, estimated to be between her late 30s and early 50s. She's of average height and build, wearing that distinctive headscarf, often described as tan, gold or pinkish, and a brown coat. She carried a dark handbag. Her camera, based on its shape and how she held it, appears to be a home movie camera. Perhaps a Bell and Howell director series or a similar 8mm model, common consumer technology for the time. Then there are the witnesses. In the bedlam following the shots, several bystanders recalled her strangely composed demeanor. One man, Associated Press photographer James Olgens, remembered her standing near him. Others mentioned a woman who seemed completely unfazed by the rifle shots. One witness even claimed to have spoken with her afterward, but their testimony was vague and never led to a reliable identification. The FBI, in the largest manhunt in American history, launched a nationwide appeal for all photographs and films taken in Dealey Plaza. Hundreds of pieces of footage were turned in, but the Babushka Ladies was not among them. Investigators followed every lead, interviewed countless individuals, but the woman in the headscarf remained a ghost. The official record is stark in its emptiness. The Warren Commission, tasked with investigating the assassination, never located her. The FBI officially listed her as an unidentified witness, a label that belies the intensity of their failed search. She was there, and then she wasn't. This is where the known facts end and the theories begin. The case of the Babushka Lady is a void, and human nature abhors a vacuum. Over the decades, that void has been filled with speculation, creating a complex web of possibilities. Theory 1 is the simplest, and perhaps the most plausible. The innocent bystander. Imagine being a tourist or a Dallas local, excited to capture a piece of history on your home movie camera. You're filming the President of the United States. Then, the unthinkable happens. In the days and weeks that follow, the atmosphere becomes thick with paranoia, fear, and conspiracy. The FBI is questioning everyone. The media is a frenzy. The man accused of the crime is himself murdered on live television. If you were that woman, holding a film that might be the most scrutinized piece of evidence on earth, what would you do? Coming forward would mean being thrust into the center of a national trauma, your life turned upside down. Perhaps she feared for her safety, or the safety of her family. Maybe she saw something on that film that terrified her, something she didn't want any part of. In this scenario, she may have simply hidden the film away, or in a moment of panic, destroyed it, erasing herself from the narrative out of self-preservation. Theory 2 takes a much darker turn. The intelligence asset. This theory suggests her calmness wasn't just shock, it was training. Proponents argue that the Babushka Lady was an operative, a professional agent tasked with documenting the assassination. Her steady hand and focused filming, while others fled, could be interpreted as tradecraft, but for whom? Some point to the KGB, A headscarf could be a simple disguise or a signal to other operatives in the plaza. The film would have been invaluable intelligence for the Soviet Union, a record of how the leader of their chief rival could be eliminated in broad daylight. Others suggest she was a domestic agent, perhaps CIA, filming for their own analytical purposes or as part of a rogue operation. Her swift and clean disappearance from the scene, leaving no trace, certainly fits the profile of a professional extraction. The film would have been whisked away, classified, and buried deep within an agency archive, never to see the light of day. Theory 3 is the most cinematic, the witness who knew too much. What if her film captured something that contradicted the official story? The Zapruder film became the cornerstone of the Warren Commission's single-bullet theory. But the Babushka Lady was filming from a different angle, almost directly opposite Zapruder. Her vantage point might have revealed a second shooter on the grassy knoll, a puff of smoke from a different location, or even a conspirator in the crowd signaling the assassins. If her film contained such explosive evidence, it would have been a direct threat to powerful forces. In this version of events, her silence may not have been a choice. She might have been identified by those involved in the conspiracy and either intimidated into disappearing or, in the darkest version of the theory, silenced permanently. Her vanishing act, then, becomes a sign not of fear, but of forced removal from the board. Finally, there is a fringe theory. She never existed. This idea posits that the figure in the photos is a trick of the light, a photographic anomaly, or a case of mistaken identity, perhaps multiple different people being conflated into one. However, this theory is largely dismissed by most researchers. The woman is clearly visible from multiple angles, in different photographs and films taken by different people. Eyewitnesses recalled her. The consistency of her appearance across the evidence makes it almost certain that a real woman, holding a real camera, stood on that patch of grass. Decades have passed, but the search for the Babushka Lady continues. In the digital age, the hunt has moved online, with amateur sleuths and dedicated JFK researchers poring over the evidence with new tools. Facial recognition software has been applied to the grainy, distant images of her face, but the results have been inconclusive. The photos simply lack the resolution for a definitive match. The case saw a bizarre twist in 1970 when a woman named Beverly Oliver came forward, claiming to be the Babushka Lady. She told a detailed story of filming the assassination and having her film confiscated by men who identified themselves as FBI agents. For a time, she was a sensation. However, her story was riddled with inconsistencies and anachronisms. For instance, she claimed to be using a camera model that wasn't manufactured until years after 1963. The research community has almost universally debunked her claim, leaving the mystery as open as it ever was. The Babushka Lady is more than just a missing witness in a murder case. She has become a powerful symbol. She is the human embodiment of all the unanswered questions, the missing evidence, and the enduring sense of unease that surrounds the death of JFK. In our modern age of total surveillance, where every phone is a camera, and every public space is monitored, her complete and total disappearance feels almost impossible, a relic from a different time. It's a stark reminder that some evidence is lost, not to the decay of time, but to the weight of silence. What did her film show? A clear view of a tragedy, a clue to a conspiracy, or just the blurry, panicked images of a day that shattered America's innocence? And why did she choose to bury it, and herself, forever? The truth is, we will likely never know. She remains a ghost in the photographic record, a permanent question mark at the heart of America's most infamous murder. What do you believe happened to the Babushka Lady and her film? Share your theory in the comments below. And for more stories that linger in the shadows of history, make sure to subscribe to Chronicles of the Obscure. Thanks for watching.